CC, CEO, wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a gold builder that can teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black-owned firm, but we ain't all black.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Constance Carter. It's Tuesday. So listen, it's the Grow Your Money podcast on it. Oh, shoot. Y'all, hold on 1 second. My mic is on the floor. It ain't even plugged up right now. Y'all hear me? All right? This is where we talk about how to, this is why live is good. Always have some kind of boom. Technical difficulties. We good? We Gucci? All right, listen. You guys come on in. I have a very powerful discussion that I want to talk to you about today, and it's about reparations. But before we do that, I always love to invite you on into the Grow Your Money podcast, and I love to shout you out. So for those of you who come on here every day live with me, I appreciate it. I so appreciate you because this is a dialogue and not a monologue. And so it's important for us to engage and have, these are discussions. Every time I come live, I want to have an engaging reciprocal conversation with you. So when you come on here and you speak to me and you chime in, and whether I agree or disagree, I'm okay with that. And so I welcome your feedback. I know some of y'all get mad. Y'all be like, listen, especially when the defectors come on here, y'all, or the detractors come on here, y'all be mad at them. Y'all curse them out. And I love that. And I'm good with, I don't have no problem in debating nobody on anything that I talk about. So I welcome everybody to come on here. And I wanted to talk about this topic, reparations, really, because this seems to be a trigger for a lot of white folks. I mentioned it a little bit on my Facebook page, just different posts, and the outrage of responses that I get from the Caucasian persuasion is unbelievable. So I wanted to kind of discuss and have a breakdown and just kind of give some receipts. I know no matter what you say to these people, they are so hell-bent on their beliefs that they're going to believe whatever they believe. So this is not for them, but this is for you. So when people, talk that crazy shit, I want you to have information. I want you to have ammunition. I want you to have the knowledge so that you won't be dissuaded by any of the crazy talking points. And I want to just talk about real facts. So anyway, I want to welcome you guys all in. Listen, I need to know where you're watching from. Okay. So that's the first thing. So I know I see Booker from Fort Worth. I see Miss Sophia from Stockton, California. What's happening? Because it happened, and those gentle people ancestors will get compensated, get it right. All right. So what's up, lovely JR from Seattle? Dennis, you are from Roseville, Minnesota, right? Yep. All right. And then I see Miss Tamika from Georgia. What's up, Double A? What's crack-a-lackin', Big Mackin'? Over there in Cleveland, Cincinnati, where you in Ohio somewhere. And then the other thing is, I want you to tell everybody to come and join the conversation. So please share this on your pages, because again, this is an important dialogue that I wanted to have. So please share this. The other thing is, for those Black-owned businesses, it's important that we support each other. So I always want to shout out those who have Black-owned businesses, because these are the things that we have to do in the meantime, in between time. That's going to put us ahead. Somebody said to me today on there, I see you did pretty good without reparations, right? And I said you didn't with reparations. You got reparations and you ain't did shit with your life. Thank God I was able to do great in spite of, but you couldn't even do good because of. So just again, I want you to don't get mad at anybody, any I call them roaches that come on here talking shit about what we don't deserve and all that. But let me tell you what triggers people. I have so I'll post things like this on my page. Let me see. I post things like this, right? Germany paid over $89 billion in reparations to the Holocaust survivors. The United States paid $1.6 billion to Japanese Americans interned during World War I. Black Americans have received $0 for 246 years of slavery. Reparations aren't charity. They're just as long overdue. Then I'll get some of the roaches and they'll say, Y'all would spend it in 2 years, then back to blaming Whitey for everything again. LOL. Keep dreaming. These are the kind of comments I get. And oh, by the way, if you'd like to respond to these people, follow me on I Am Constance Carter on Facebook page and my Facebook page, because there's lots of comments like this on my page. Lots of them. It'll be easy for you to find. I talk about Black history, Black wealth, Black affluence, and all that stuff. Oh, they hate it, and I want to talk about that too. So a couple of things I want to talk about is, I want to go down the line of receipts, right? But I also want to dig in why they're so angry. Why are they so mad when you talk about reparations? Why does it bother white people so much? I want to get into that. I want to really dissect why it makes them so upset when it talks about repairing Black people for atrocities that happen to them. I want to just get into the minds of these people. Here's another comment. The U.S. government never owned slaves, so why should the federal government use my tax dollars to pay people whose ancestors from 150 plus years ago did own them? Mind you, not all Americans own slaves. Here's an idea. Let's all get jobs and stop depending on free government tax dollar handouts. Reality is not going to happen. That's what they think. They think that we are the real welfare. Remember, Ronald Reagan created this narrative in the 80s that the welfare queen were Black women, and we are by and large not the biggest benefactors of welfare at all. And I've said many times on this show who the biggest recipients of welfare are, and I got receipts, and we'll talk about that today as well. And then this one. You're not getting any effing reparations. You're an effing moron. If you believe that shit, then there'll be a civil war. Bubba McKinney said that. Bubba is angry. But Bubba is a great representation of what we see in MAGA. They're keyboard warriors, or people who they really get mad when we talk about it. There will be a civil war if you get reparations. Doesn't that remind you of the people who, when you uppity Negroes started building your own towns and you started doing better than us, we got to put you back in your place. We got to burn that shit down. Bubba's ancestors did things like that. Why are they so angry? So I also later on, and I want you to rock with me, stay with me, because also there is a lady, a Black woman no less, who talks about why Black people should not receive reparations. And it's really interesting. She has these points. And so it was funny because one of the white people in my comments, they said, they sent me this link. Like, here, she destroyed reparations in 30 seconds. And so I want to show you that video as well. And I want to break that down as well, because I need you to understand that this is their talking points. And they got some biracial woman, I don't think she's even American, to discuss why Black people don't deserve reparations. So, I do these Black history spotlights. And so, my son, he edits them now. But here's the video that I did this week where I got a lot of feedback from our white counterparts. So let's check it out. Let's get real for a sec. Why is it that every other group who's been wronged by the U.S. government has gotten reparations except us? The Japanese were put in internment camps, paid. The Jewish Holocaust survivors, paid. Native American tribes, paid. But Black folks, after 400 years of slavery, stolen land, labor, and wealth, nothing. And here's the thing. It's not just about cutting a check. It's about repairing what's deliberately taken. And let's break that down. Reparations aren't just about slavery. We've been systematically robbed at every stage of history. From 1619 to 1865, we had unpaid labor. Millions of Black people built this country for free, yet our families got nothing. Meanwhile, slave owners got compensated for losing property after the abolition. From 1865 to the 1900s, we got broken promises. The 40 acres and a mule never happened. Instead, land was given back to former slave owners. And then we have government-sanctioned wealth from the 1900s to the 1960s. Black thriving towns were burned to the ground. Black landowners forced out through fraud and violence. Redlining kept us from home ownership, locking us out of generational wealth. And then from 1970s to the present, we had mass incarceration. The war on drugs
targeted Black communities. After the CIA put the drugs in our community, they locked up generations of men and destroyed Black families, all while corporations now profit from the cannabis industry, along with the privatized industrial prison complex system. Well, here's why reparations matter today. Some folks say, well, I never owned any slaves, or that was a long time ago. But let's be real. Black families are still dealing with the effects of economic oppression today. Why was it important to repair those other communities and not African Americans? The average Black family has 1/10 the wealth of the average white family. Black home ownership rates are still lower than they were in the 1960s, and the racial wealth gap is widening and not closing. So no, this ain't about a handout. It's a debt that was owed. Now listen, reparations shouldn't just be about a check. It should be a multi-layered wealth strategy, including direct payments. Yeah, just like other groups who receive reparations, pay us. We should be getting land grants since so much of our wealth was stolen through land theft. We should be getting free college and student loan forgiveness because education is the key to economic mobility. We should also be getting tax-free business grants to rebuild Black entrepreneurships, and we should have zero interest home loans to close the homeownership wealth gap. But family, what do you think reparations should look like? I don't know. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And while we're fighting for what's owed to us, we also need to be building wealth now. So if you're ready to learn how to buy land, invest, and secure the bag for the next generation, tap in with me. Because whether we get reparations or not, we're going to make sure our kids don't got to start from zero.
So that's what I want to make sure that we do. So first of all, let me ask you a question. What do you think reparations should be? So do you think it should be a direct payment? Do you think it should be in the form of student loans? Do you think it should be in form of maybe 0% interest on home loans? Do you think we should get land grants? What do you think? Or all of the above? What do you think? So if you don't know what reparations are, let me give you the definition. So first, let's kind of get that out the way, because I think that many people don't understand why you have reparations. All right. So let me see. Where is the reparations? I pulled up the definition of reparations. Let me see. It's to repair what has been done wrong. Okay, so reparations, the definition of reparations is to repair, is an act of making amends of a wrong that has been done by providing compensation, which is financial, material, or institutional. So what happens with us as African Americans, it refers to the compensation that is owed for centuries of slavery, of racial terror, of segregation, of land theft, of economic exclusion, of systemic oppression. All of these harms were done by the federal government. Reparations is not about making no white people feel guilty. It's about justice. It's not a handout. And that's what they keep saying, even though they got handouts from the beginning of time. And let's break that down about the handouts that they got. So let's first talk about, let's unpack how the Japanese Americans, they got $20,000 after their internment, $20,000 each after internment. Okay. The Jewish Holocaust survivors received billions of dollars of reparations. Why do you think they are so wealthy? The Native Americans got casinos. They get compensated. They get free schooling. They get free college. They get all of that stuff. They get land settlements. They get all of that. We get nothing. And then you go down to how white Americans received the Homestead Act of 1862, where they received 40 million acres of land. They got that. We didn't get that, even though we built this country for free. We did not partake in that. They talking about, oh, y'all just want, you guys are lazy, go out and get jobs. That's not what you did. You got 40 millions of acres for free. Okay. You got the GI Bill. So when our soldiers came home from war, Black men came home from war, they couldn't take advantage of the GI Bill, which gave education and it gave housing to veterans. My dad didn't use his VA loan until I got him my dad has owned several homes. He didn't get a VA loan until I sold him a home maybe 10 years ago. That was the first time my dad fought in Vietnam, but was refused or didn't understand that they had these benefits. But back then they were just refused. They wouldn't give them to Black people. So y'all got GI Bills when they refused. The local VA agencies would not give GI Bills or VA loans to Black people. Then they had redlining where they were giving FHA loans to non-Black people. Black people could not get loans. You got your handouts, but you talking about let's pull Black people, let's pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. Okay, y'all got the New Deal benefits, Social Security. Remember, those were handouts. After the Great Depression, you guys got handouts from the federal government that they would not give to Black people. They were deliberately excluded. I said 40 million acres, 270 million acres of land was handed out to white people. So you had the Homestead Act of 1862, and then you have the one of 1866 as well. That was supposed to be for the freedmen's, but Black people didn't even receive those acres of land either. We were supposed to get 40 acres of mill, we all know. And then Andrew Jackson repealed it after Abraham Lincoln got shot. So they say that, well, we can't afford it and we're not paying taxes. The U.S. has given over $300 billion in aid to Israel. $300 billion to aid in Israel. But they can't afford to give you free college. Let that sink in. They've given $300 billion in aid. And oh, by the way, this should be laughable. Did you hear that? What's his name? The Prime Minister of Israel has nominated Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize. Did y'all hear that shit? Did y'all hear that shit? I saw that on CNN this morning. The Prime Minister of Israel has nominated Donald Trump in the midst of a war. In the midst of a war that they're starting, not only with Gaza and Palestine, but with Iran. And then now we have gotten caught up in a war and they're giving Trump the Nobel Peace Prize. Why? They control everything. So they've gotten all these billions of dollars from an aid, but you can't give Black people, you can't wipe away their student loans. In fact, we're not even going to wipe away their student loans. We're going to make sure that we cap the amount of student loans that they get, ensure that Black folks can go to a med school, because we know med school is about $200,000 a year, and we're capping federal aid for student loans. And oh, by the way, if you don't pay your student loans back, we're going to come after and we're going to garnish your wages. That's what Trump is doing. Okay. The war in Ukraine, $170 billion that they've spent, but they can't wipe away your student loans. They can't give you a 0% interest on a loan, but they've given $170 billion. They can't give you $20,000 payout. Yeah. So, or actually compare today. So 40 acres and a mule today, the value is $14 trillion. And that's a conservative estimate. Imagine had we gotten our 40 acres and a mule, what that would look like. See, the problem is not we don't have it. It's what would equity look like today for us? If we had tax-free land ownership, if we were able to purchase properties without taxes, or if we had our student loans canceled. Do you know what Black women are the biggest holders of student loan debt? Because they told us, we believed the lie. Go to school, get an education. So now we're the most educated and we're the most in debt. And now, who's in debt? Black women. We're going to make sure we garnish her wages. We're going to make sure we come after her for the debt and make sure we keep her in this chokehold of debt. We should be getting guaranteed business grants. We should be getting free education for generations. We should be getting free health care. This is not about a check. This is about restoring the wealth that we were locked out of building. So the idea, because I want to break it down. I want to break down why these people get so mad. These people don't get mad about the CIA flooding our Black communities with drugs or how we were redlined out of generational wealth. I talk about all that too. I talk about, all kind of things that have happened to us. Nothing gets more smoke from these people than when I say the word reparations. It's crazy. And I had to ask myself, why? Why does this topic make these people so mad? Number one, I think it would be a public admission that what they did is wrong. Think about it. If they're trying to take critical race theory out of schools because they don't want white children to feel bad about their ancestors, what does that mean? It means their ancestors are murderers, are rapists, are barbaric, and they don't want their children to know where they came from, obviously. So if they acknowledge the fact that this was wrong, they know that this shit was wrong. There's some type of cognitive dissonance. I don't there you know, white there's this thing that the other day on here, somebody said America is the greatest country that's ever lived or that's ever existed, the greatest country on earth. You wouldn't want to go anywhere else. There is this thing called American exceptionalism. And it's the belief that America is the greatest. It's we've been taught, this has been ingrained in our psyche since we've been here. America is the greatest country on earth. We getting lynched. America is the greatest country on earth. We can't drink at the same water fountains. America is the greatest country on earth. Our men can't get jobs. We have mass incarceration. The thing about it is, if you say something long enough, people will start to believe it. It's just like black people. If you say something long enough about black folks, guess what's going to happen? We're going to start to believe it. And that's the reason why we've adopted a lot of these talking points about who we are, who we're not, what we can't do, what we ain't going to do. We're lazy. We're going to spin it up. We're going to smoke it up. We're going to drink it up. That's not who we are. But we've allowed them to propagandize our communities and speak this stuff into us. And so we've started to adopt it. And so that goes along with American exceptionalism, thinking that we're the greatest country on earth when these atrocities have happened to not just black people. Look at what's going on with them deporting Hispanic people right now, who, oh, by the way, voted for this bullshit. Now they people is getting deported. The America is deathly afraid of the browning of America. It's the same thing that's happened in other parts of South America. They have these whitening campaigns to ensure that we keep America pure. Let's get rid of, remember, I think I mentioned yesterday, Margaret Sanger. She's a eugenics. The idea of eugenics is to get rid of the less desirables, the undesirables. The undesirables are people who look like me and a lot of you. How do we do that? We put guns in their communities. We don't got to kill them no more. We put abortion clinics all in there. And listen, I'm not for or against. I'm not anything. I don't have no political view on any of that stuff. But I'm telling you the origins of it, what it was meant for was to destroy you. That's what it was meant to do. And they've done a great job. That's the reason why you see Planned Parenthood's in the hood. Planned Parenthood is in the hood, and it's free. White women are not having babies in the way that they used to. So now they lose their power if they're not continuing to breed. So this whole idea of American exceptionalism is the idea is that America is a superior place, and it's really not, because look at what it's done to our people. And to say, get up and move if you don't like it here, go back to Africa. First of all, I'm not from Africa. I'm from San Jose, California. But the idea of get up and move in a place where my ancestors have their blood is in the soil, where my people where you have Mary Turner, who was hanged. Her stomach, she was 8 months pregnant. Her stomach was cut open. Baby falls out. They stomp the baby. They burn people alive. They would gather around and bring their children and eat popcorn while they were hanging black men, while they were brutalizing black men. This is what's been ingrained in a lot of these people. They don't want you to know about this. And so this all goes with the American history that they don't want you to learn about. And so when you have these white people that are so upset and so angry about giving reparations, these are the same people who, when we made progress in these different neighborhoods and when we built these towns, they came and burned them down. How dare you get equity? We're not even asking for equality. We're asking for equity. We want our fair share. And they say, no, you're not going to get it because that's a handout. Why don't you just work? You see that? Why don't you just work for a change? We are working. We don't own the businesses. Most of the people in positions of power are hiring people who look like them. Let me tell you a story. And I've told this before on here. I was working at HP when I was 18, and I was a security guard. So I started out as a security guard. Then I started working there full time as an employee. But I was a security guard. I was 18. I was a security guard, and there was this white guy, blonde hair, blue eye, good looking white guy. He was a security guard. He was letting people in with their badges. And so when I left, went back a year later to become a full time employee. Had some other things that came back a year later, and I saw him, and I was like, "Oh shit, Daniel." he's coming in and out. He's wearing a white button-up shirt. I'm like, hey, you work here now? He's like, yeah, I'm an engineer. And I said, oh, damn, okay. Did you go to school for engineering? Were you in school for engineering when I seen you? And he goes, no. One day they just came up to me and asked me if I wanted to be an engineer. And I was like, yeah. Now, how many of you know that things like that happen to Black people? It's blonde hair, blue eye, good looking white guy, letting people in. The extent of his skill set was letting people in the building, was now an engineer. Things like that happen more often. They would rather hire Daniel with no skills than your Black brother, cousin, or uncle who went to school for 4 years or 8 years and got that degree. These are the types of advances and privileges. And when you're coming from a place of privilege, it's really hard for them to understand. That's the reason why they will we'll have a civil war before we allow you guys to get any reparations. That's what Bubba said. You're not getting into effing reparations. You're an effing moron if you believe that shit. There'll be another civil war. Not coming out of their pockets. They don't care about giving Israel billions of dollars. They don't care about the money that's spent on wars. But to give Black people some money to repair the unjustness of 260 years of slavery and Jim Crow and economic oppression, shit, we will have a civil war before we let that happen. What is going on in their minds? They have a fear of economic equity or equality. They fear of losing their dominance. Equality feels like oppression to the oppressor. Let me say that one more time. Equality feels like oppression when you're an oppressor. What would happen is reparations will give us the economic power. It will give us a capital to build, have land, own businesses, and have political influences. The fear is not that we're going to misuse the money. They don't think they know that. The fear is that we are going to catch up, not only catch up, but surpass. And that's why I always say when they talk about the wealth gap is widening, we're going to be at a zero in 2053. No, we're not. That's the reason why I do what I do. That's the reason why I have Net 7 and I coach people. And this is the reason why I come live here with you every day. And it's the reason why I have the Grow Your Money Club, where I'm showing you different ways to build your skill set, to get your credit up, to increase your credit score hundreds of points. Sophia on here that's watching right now says she increased her credit score 200 points in 2 months of taking my trainings. Also, I have trainings on how to start your businesses, how to create different side hustles, ways to create budgets, how to invest. All of those things are inside. Those are things that I do. That we're not going to be at zero. We are not going to be at zero. It's the reason why I coach Black women from all over the country, because there is a African proverb that says, when you teach a man, you teach an individual. And that's okay. It's not against men, but when you teach a woman, you teach a nation. It's the reason why I have the Net 7 Collective. It's the reason why I'm even expanding that into local chapters of Black women to undergird and empower us, because that's what's getting ready to happen. We are getting empowered. We're getting ready because we're about to make history together. Black women, oh my God. And I'm so excited about it. Let me really quick, before I even go on, let me just show you real quick. Welcome to the unstoppable force of the Net 7 Nation, where purpose meets prosperity. We are showing up strong in Dallas, Houston, Stockton, Sacramento, West Africa, Las Vegas, Philadelphia, Prince George's County, Europe, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Atlanta, Chicago, and Alabama, and with more to come. These powerful women are here to build wealth, impact their communities, and change generations. So get ready to connect, collaborate, and elevate with the Net 7 Nation, because together we are unstoppable. So I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's see. Let's talk about here we go. Take your Black ass wherever else, but you're here, you ungrateful bag of. That's on Facebook. I love it. And I'm so glad. Thank you, Ty, for watching. Thank you. She probably lives in a trailer park somewhere. There was somebody named, med school don't need witch doctors. Oh, bright. See, this is the kind of stuff. This is what I want you to see. I'm so glad the roaches came out today. I love this shit. Y'all, I really, really love it. This doesn't bother me at all, because I want to highlight who the enemy is. It's these people right here. Thank you guys for showing who you are. I sure appreciate that. And I hope they deport your ass, Robert Suarez. But listen, these are the people, these are the ones who have this mindset. I just don't want you to adopt these same mindsets. Who else is on here? I bet you wonder why nobody hires you. I don't need to be hired. I hire people. Oh God. Okay, let's see who else. Anybody else? Oh, we had to crack the whip to make you guys work on the plantations. Oh, Robert Suarez, you did, huh? They gonna deport your ass. Oh, I love it. You guys, come on, roaches. Come on out. Let's shine a light on these motherfucking roaches. Dumb black woman. Oh, women. Dumb black women. Okay. This is jokes. Ha ha ha. So the reason why, I love to highlight the roaches because this is who is out here. This is who this is for. But this, they motivate me to do things like this because I want to educate us on who the enemy is. So the enemy is not your brother, is not your sister. The enemy is these people. And these are all keyboard warriors. They probably live in trailer parks. They're likely to be uneducated. They don't know how to spell. They don't know. I mean, they're trash. But the problem is they have a lot of the power, right? So if we can, Lyndon B. Johnson, if you could take the lowest white man and convince him that he's better than the best colored man, he won't even know you're picking his pockets. He'll give him somebody to look down on and he'll give you everything he owns. This is the result of the people that Lyndon B. Johnson was talking about. These are the people who think that they are in power when they're really impoverished. And so they would rather vote against their own best interests than to see you get anything. But that's the reason why, again, continue to assimilate, continue to practice collective economics, all of that stuff, because these folks is mad. They wasn't mad, though, when the Homestead Act was given out and they were handed free land. I didn't get anything. They weren't mad when Wall Street got bailouts. They weren't mad when the GI Bill educated a whole entire generation of white men. They weren't mad. They weren't mad when Ukraine got billions of dollars. But when Black people asked for a return on their investment for 400 years of unpaid labor, now it's a problem. It's a problem for people like Bubba. Make it make sense. But let me tell you something, Black people. Their discomfort is not your problem. Let me be clear. White discomfort is not more important than our justice. So just because it makes you uncomfortable, Bubba, don't mean it's not true. And it sure don't mean we gonna stop demanding it. Okay. So they do exactly what I want them to do. So thank you guys for showing who you are. Appreciate you. And for everybody else, make sure that you share this on your pages, because I want to highlight, all of these great roaches that like to come on my page. Let's see. Whoever doesn't agree with Roberto Ice was going to be at your door. It is funny and sad. It really is, because again, you could take the lowest white man, and convince him he's better than the best colored man, and he's going to vote against his best interests. He's going to this idea of superiority. Again, 400 years, you've gotten all these advances, and you're still a failure. Like, you have to be morally, disappointed in yourself. 400 years, you've been in this country. Your people have been in this country. You've gotten all these advantages, and yet you're still poor. It has to be pretty damn affecting your self-esteem. But I do want to show you guys this video, this so-called Black woman, because she was talking about reparations, and I don't even think she's American. And somebody was like, "Clock this tea." They didn't say that, but in their own no seasoned way, basically told me that like she ate and left no crumbs. So let's break down what she had to say. Let me see. Where is the video? Oh.
Woman ended the reparations debate in just a few seconds.
The practice of slavery was legal. We need to remember that governments did not own slaves. Slave owners did. In fact, the US government fought a war to end slavery. How much should the descendants of the 400,000 Union soldiers who lost their lives fighting to free the slaves pay to the descendants of the slaves they freed? It's bizarre to suggest that human beings should inherit the outrage of the deeds of their parents. Should the child born from a rapist be branded a rapist because of his father's criminality? Should the child of a mass murderer be sent to prison because of his father's crime? No. In America, in the main, it was the Democrats who owned slaves, and the Democrats who in the main passed and enforced Jim Crow laws. It was also the Democrats who founded the Ku Klux Klan. Should the current Democratic Party be held responsible for this? No. We do not inherit the sins of our fathers.
So first of all, she's not even Black or African American. I don't even know where they got, but I guess she was supposed to. She let us have it because she said those things. So I just kind of want to break down each point that she said. Okay, so let's go with point number one.
This woman ended the reparations debate in just a few seconds.
The practice of slavery was legal.
Okay, so legal does not mean moral. Okay, so legal does not mean moral. Apartheid was legal. The Holocaust was legal. Jim Crow was legal. And in this country, Black people being owned, raped, bred, and sold like cattle was legal because the government created, it upheld, and it protected those laws. Don't confuse legality with righteousness. Slavery was legal because the government made it so and profited from it. So let's go to bullshit point number two. Oh, God.
We need to remember that governments did not own slaves. Slave owners did.
Governments did not own slaves. Slave owners did. That is also false. The U.S. government was complicit on every level. It taxed slave labor. Okay. The U.S. it upheld slavery in the Constitution. It said we were 3/5 human. Don't forget that. It passed the Fugitive Slave Act to help slave owners recapture enslaved people. And when slavery was finally abolished, slave owners in D.C. got paid reparations by the government. So yes, individuals owned slaves, but the government protected, they financed, and they rewarded that ownership. All right, let's go to bullshit point number three.
In fact, the US government fought a war to end slavery. How much should the descendants of the 400,000 Union soldiers who lost their lives fighting to free the slaves pay to the descendants of the slaves they freed?
This is really annoying me. This is really annoying. The US fought a war to end slavery. And that's only half the truth, ladies and gentlemen. The Civil War was fought over the preservation of the Union and the expansion of slavery. Abraham Lincoln, he said himself, if I could save the Union without freeing any slave, I would do it. Slavery ended because of the resistance of enslaved people. It ended because of the abolitionists, and eventually it was politically necessary. All right, let's go to bullshit point number 4. Is this pissing you off yet? I don't know where they got this bitch, but let's go.
It's bizarre to suggest that human beings should inherit the outrage of the deeds of their parents. Should the child born from a rapist be branded a rapist because of his father's criminality? Should the child of a mass murderer be sent to prison because of his father's crime? No.
So why should people inherit the outrage for the deeds of their parents? Nobody is asking any individuals to be blamed. We are saying the government. We're saying institutions. And if you look at my page, I talk about institutions that benefited, that got billions of dollars off of slave labor. We're talking about systems that still benefited from slavery and from Jim Crow. That's who owes the debt. This is about inherited wealth versus inherited oppression. White families, they inherited land, they inherited money, they inherited homes, they inherited political power. We inherited redlining, we inherited underfunded schools, police brutality, generational poverty. It's not about blaming your daddy. It's about fixing what this privilege built. It's also about what our pain paid for. All right, let's go to number 5. I think this might be the last point. Let's see.
In America, in the main, it was the Democrats who owned slaves, and the Democrats who in the main passed and enforced Jim Crow laws. It was also the Democrats who founded the Ku Klux Klan. Should the current Democratic Party be held responsible for this? No, we do not inherit the sins of our fathers.
We've heard this song and dance before, right? The Democrats are the ones that own slaves. The Democrats are the ones who formed the KKK. That is correct. And it is also irrelevant. Oh God, where is this woman from? Yes, the Democratic Party of the 1800s was the party of slavery and segregation. It's like you need a elementary school education to really, I don't know. Yes. Okay. Democratic, they were the party of the 1800s of slavery and segregation, but their party was realigned in the 60s. Do you not remember? After the Civil Rights Act was signed by Lyndon B. Johnson. That's when the racist Southern Democrats became Republicans. And that's where today's GOP is, where their policies of white supremacy migrated. At the end of the day, you guys, both parties have failed us. So it's not even about Democrat or Republican. I don't give a damn about either. Neither one of them deliver reparations. So we're not loyal to any parties. We're loyal to progress. Both parties owe. We need to collect because we're not asking for guilt. Don't give a damn about your guilt. We just want accountability in the form of reparations, in the form of payment, because trauma was passed down. The poverty was passed down and the wealth was not passed down. And we're not begging. We billing. It's not about revenge. This is about restoration. That's what reparations is about. So I encourage all of you trolls just consider, and even if you don't, this ain't about you, but this is for my Black people. I really want you to understand, because even some of us have said that we shouldn't be worried about reparations. And at the end of the day, we should not. What we should be worried about is right now is building, is restoring, is unifying, is supporting. That's what we should be worried about. Whether they do it or not, it doesn't stop the conversation of whether they owed it, whether it's owed, because we know it's owed, but that's not going to stop us from our progress. So that's what I want us as Black people to really understand, what we have to do in order to build together, practice collective economics. That's the reason why I come here every day, but that's also the reason why I always want to recognize Black-owned businesses, because it's important that we support each other. You know, we have people, I've heard it come out of people's mouths. I've heard it even recently. I don't support Black-owned businesses. It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. That's the most self-hating thing I've ever heard. But look at Bubba and them. They not supporting your ass either. And when you become a business owner, what does that look like for you? How are you going to paint all of us with a broad brush when they're doing it? That is a self-hating Negro speak. Say it again. That's self-hating Negro speak. And we have to stop adopting their talking points when we're talking about us. We have to start creating our own narratives. What Bubba and them talking about. I love to highlight the roaches, shine a light on them roaches, and see exactly who they are. And I'm glad that they came on here today and showed themselves. Let me look at some of your comments, because I see y'all going crazy in the comments. Let me see. Let's see. Makes no sense. Yeah, I don't think is she even like American? The government did benefit from slavery. It's annoying, right? Is it annoying you? Yeah. Yeah, each of them want to maintain the balance of power to approximate the original equilibrium. She reminds you of Rachel Dolezal. Who is this non-white woman? Let me see who else is on there. Lakeisha said, what makes me so angry is crying and trying to support the Hispanic community, but I've never seen other races online crying about what happened to us or demanding reparations for us. I agree with everything you say, Constance, but I know that to do what should be done, they'd have to lessen their own power, and there is no historic precedent for that anywhere on the planet. You're right. You're right. Let me see who else. The reason why they refuse to do justice is because their minds, they want us to remain slaves. Yeah. Sophia said, every time you have these topics, my blood pressure rises because of the roaches. Don't let them get you mad. I sleep well at night because I recognize the enemy. And so I just want us Black people to recognize, and then also recognize who your brothers and sisters are. And so then we just have to change the narrative of, how we see each other, of how we unite, of how we deal with each other. Right. So we have to just be unified, because this is what they want. And this is how they've been pulling strings all these years. Remember, when integration, Black Wall Street, for those of you guys who don't know, Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Greenwood, Tulsa, Oklahoma, there was over 600 businesses. And I know you guys heard the story many times. There was over 600 businesses that they got jealous. They burned it down. We know that. They rebuilt Black Wall Street. And then there were 300 businesses. And what finally tore down Black Wall Street for good was not any outsider white person. They didn't come in and burn it down. What destroyed it for the last time was integration. Because when we no longer had to do business with each other, we stopped doing business with one another. Because now all of a sudden, the white man's ice was colder. All of a sudden, now I could go and eat at those nasty ass counters that I fought to sit at, that they didn't want me to sit at. You spat in your food. You sat your Black ass down and you stopped going to the Black owned restaurants. And that's the unfortunate piece. And so we have to get back to that. We got to get back to Black first, be one. And I'm unapologetic about my thinking around that. I do not care. I don't care if people don't like it. I'm not anti-white. I'm not anti anything else, but I'm very pro-Black. What does that mean? I want us to be successful. We've had enough people tearing us down from the outside. Now we have to build each other up from the inside. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I do this. That's why I talk to y'all. It has nothing to do with nobody else. I just want you to see what they're doing. I just want you to see the optics. Here's what's going on the outside. This is what they're doing. Don't bother me. I still love everybody. I do. I even love the roaches. God commanded us to love. However, I love us. And so just like you have these Jewish people that have gotten billions of dollars of funding, they have free healthcare in Israel and we don't. Okay. So they're giving them billions of dollars, but they have free healthcare. You got to think about that. And they think Israel first, Jerusalem first, Jew first. They're not doing business with anybody else. They say it. We're not going to do business with nobody else until we've exhausted everybody in our community. And we have to start thinking community minded. But we also, Black people, only 3% of Black owned businesses in Black communities are owned by Black people. I don't know if you know that. Only 3% of businesses in Black communities are owned by Black people. So when you're in a Black community, you're going to see Asians, you're going to see Arabs, you're going to see Hispanic, you're going to see white. But if you go to a white community, Arab community, a Hispanic community, Jewish community, you're not going to see no Black owned business. You will never see that. Why? It just doesn't happen. And so that's the other reason why we have to start building our own businesses. We can't spin with each other because they say, the dollar circulates in our community 6 hours. Well, we need to have businesses to spin with. And then there's this thing called this Black tax. I don't know if you know what the Black tax is, but a lot of times when we do start businesses, like if I started a hair business, I may not get the same discount that the Asian got because the Asian ones they control the market. And so I may have to pay a little bit more for my inventory. And so then I may have to pass that payment on to you. And so we have to look at it and say, oh, they're not trying to tax us because they're trying to be greedy, but perhaps they had to pay more for their inventory. And because I love Black owned businesses, I'm going to support them anyway, because I know that the struggle that they have. And if you go to a Black owned business and they don't have good service, give them feedback, but don't write everybody off. I'm going to give you feedback, and I've done it. Sometimes it was well received and sometimes it wasn't. And then when it wasn't well received, guess what? I didn't go back. Very simple. But I didn't write off all Black owned businesses. We still go. We still support, because our community will continue to be decimated if we do not support our own. We can't look to them to save us. Nobody's going to save us. We have to look within. Only way we're going to close that wealth gap, the only way that we're going to create these legacies for our children and our children's children is if we do the work now. That's why I come here. That's why I have the Net 7 Collective. That's why I coach Black women from all over the country about that very thing. Teaching women, we're not gatekeepers. We are sharing, we're knowledge sharing. And I don't know everything. I am not the big wizard that knows everything. I surround myself around a bunch of intelligent Black women who we all share and collaborate together. That's why I have Dr. Jones on here every Thursday. She's part of the Net 7 Collective. She's one of those women who I coach and I help, and I've helped increase their business, help elevate and scale their businesses. She's somebody I coach, but she's a doctor, she's a physician, and now she's helping you to be able to change your life. That's why I have Dee Dee, who's been on here a few times. She's a lawyer, brilliant lawyer. I've helped her expand her business. That's what we do. That's what the community that I have. That's what we do. We help elevate, each one teach one. That's what it's about. We have to do that. And that's the reason that African proverb, when you teach a woman, you teach a nation, because we're going to take it and we're going to expand it. We're going to take the information. We're not going to keep it to ourselves. You know, you give us a seed, we're going to make a baby. You give us a house, we're going to make a home. You give us some food, we're going to make a meal. That's what women do. So that's the reason why I am so passionate about the thing of coaching Black women. Just so you know, let me see. This is another thing about Net 7. So Net 7 Nation, just so you know. So Net 7 Collective is my inner circle. That's the women that I coach every week. We get together every week, every Wednesday, and then every other Monday we get together. And I coach them on different concepts, different things like that. And then on every other Monday, it's what's called Study Hall, where we actually in action doing the business. So that's an inner circle that I coach. Then we have the Net 7 Nation, which is actually being rolled out as we speak, of Black women throughout the country. So I just pointed out a bunch of different cities. We added some more cities on there, which may not be on here, which may not have been on that video, but we're taking it grassroots. Like all that outside stuff, I love it. Bubba is motivation. Robert Suarez, whatever his name is motivation. Whatever that white bitch name that said something, motivation. That's motivation for me to get information with my people. That's the reason why I do this. Thank you, Roaches. Thank you. Because now we got work to do. So I'm helping my Black women. I'm intelligent enough to have the knowledge, information, and wisdom. I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in myself. So all the information I've had over the last 20 years, I'm giving it to these women. But the caveat is that they got to give it to other people. That's the caveat, is to each one teach one. So let me just show you this really quick. There's nothing like being around women who see you, who support you, and who genuinely want to see you win. This is what Net 7 is all about. We celebrate each other, we build each other, we rise together. We're not just creating connections, we are creating legacy through wealth, through healing, through purpose, through real sisterhood. This is the nation. This is the movement. This is Net 7. My bad, I didn't show you guys. So if you want to tap in on a local level and build with us, go to net7nation.com. This is for Black women of all ages. I don't care if you're 80. We have Dr. Emma Frazier, who's a Harvard PhD, who just made 80. No, I think she made 81, who is part of the Net 7 Nation. In fact, let me show her. I don't know if you guys know who Dr. George Frazier is. He's one of the best, greatest thought leaders in the world. And his sister, who is somebody that I coach, who's also in the Net 7 Collective. Do I have? Oh, here she is right here.
When I joined the Net 7, I had no idea of Constance connection. I met a group of women that changed my life. But Constance showed me, when you get one-on-one coaching with her, you get a certain amount of those. You meet these women. We learned about government contracts. We learned how to build wealth. We learned about real estate. And we built a sisterhood that sustains me to this day. So I'm telling you, if you want to rock your life, if you want to grow your brain, if you want to upscale your brand, you can get all of that with today's purchase of the great. And I tell her, her name Constance is who she is. She is constant, she is resilient, And you will feel like you're the only one in a group of women because she has an intimate touch when it comes to knowing her clients.
Yes. I love my daughter. Yeah. That's my daughter filming. But Dr. Emma, the reason why I wanted to show you her is because Dr. Emma is 81 years old, and she's also, so my point is all ages, Black women. So if you are a Black woman or know a Black woman, have them contact me. They could either go to net7bbs.com. Net7, where is that banner? Net7bbs.com. Go to net7bbs.com to schedule an appointment with me. You can go there, or you can go to bookwithconstance.com to schedule an appointment with me. Either or, I'd love to talk to you about what that looks like to be a part of that. But the other thing is Net7 Nation, which will be rolling out really shortly. So for those of you, we have tons of interest, which I'm really excited about. So if you have not, if you've signed up for the interest, and you should have gotten an email, unless you signed up between yesterday and today, because the email was sent out yesterday and it was sent out before that as well. So go to net7nation.com if you want to be a part of the nation. That's the individual local chapters. But if you want to be a part of the inner circle, you can go to Book with Constance, or you can go to net7bbs.com. So I think that is all. Tomorrow, I think we're going to be talking about some mindless stuff with my girl April. And then, of course, Fly Nubian Money. I'll be on Fly Nubian Money show in about an hour. But I appreciate, I was just looking at your comments. I appreciate you. For everybody, let me just, before I get out of here, for everybody, you do have I do have the Grow Your Money Club, and that's for everybody. That's not just for Black women. And oh, by the way, for Net7 Nation, let me just tell you this. Net7 Nation, for the folks who join early, there's going to be an investment. There's going to be an inaugural investment, and then there's going to be a regular investment. So the early adopters who join the Net7 Nation, they're going to be locked in with the inaugural investment, which is very nominal, comparatively speaking. And then there's going to be some incentives. So if you are interested, if you're like, oh, I'll just join later, that's fine too. That's totally fine. But you won't get the same investment price of that. And I'm telling you, it's $59 a month, literally. So, but I didn't want to put that out there yet, but literally, like, you can't lose to be able to have a sisterhood of women that, but it's not going to stay that way forever. This is just for the first people who sign up, the first probably couple hundred people who sign up for it. But the reason why I come here live every day is because I want to educate you. So this is for men, women, boys, girls, Black, white, whoever. I have the Grow Your Money Club. Have you joined the Grow Your Money Club yet? If not, why not? The Grow Your Money Club is a comprehensive program designed to take you through the complete wealth building journey. We don't just offer random courses, we guide you along a clear path, starting with fixing your credit and becoming a certified credit expert, to building your business, increasing your cash flow, diversifying your portfolio, and ultimately letting your money work for you. With over 30 trainings designed to increase your net worth, you get to either purchase the trainings individually or go through the 12-month roadmap. Here are just a few of the courses. From campus to cash flows, this is teaching your children to become real estate investors. The Wealth Map training shows you how to eliminate your debt, increase your credit, and diversify your revenue streams. You can learn to write your book using ChatGPT. Learn how to build your online community. What about 8 ways to make money using AI? Oh, and here's 7 online revenue streams to fund your $1 million dream. How about learning how to purchase tax deeds or land banks? What about getting started in government contracting? If you're a rookie, the Real Estate for Rookies training has everything you need. The Business Blueprint training will help you build your business foundation, get business credit, get business funding, and learn how to pay yourself so that you can scale your business to the next level. Or perhaps you want to create jaw-dropping video content using CapCut, Midjourney, and ChatGPT. There are so many trainings and master classes within the Grow Your Money Club, and I also drop 1 new training per month. You do not want to miss out on this opportunity to invest in yourself, because guess what? You are your biggest commodity. You are your biggest investment. Join the Grow Your Money Club today. Miss Sophia, I love you back. I do. And Terry, I appreciate you, man. Shout out to Terry. He said, I mentioned that 7 when my document signers are Black women. Man, thank you. That means the world to me. Thank you so much. I super appreciate it. That's why I do this. But listen, listen. They stole our labor. They stole our land, they stole our families, our language, our legacy, and still had the audacity to tell us to forget. We ain't crazy. We ain't confused. And we're not going to be silent. I'm not. I'm going to speak it every single day. Reparations are not a favor. They're not a handout. It's not charity. They are the bare minimum on generational debt in this country that's owed to the descendants of the people who built this country brick by brick, lash by motherfucking lash. And yet, whether they pay us or not, we still gonna get our money, because our inheritance is not just what they owe us. It's the brilliance in us, you guys. It's the resilience in us. It's the fire that can't be stolen out of us. We're gonna build our wealth. We're gonna close the wealth gap. We're gonna work together, because we are the wealth. We're the return. We are the revolution. We don't need permission to build what's already ours. So I need you guys to go and grow your money and not blow your money, because if you blow your money, it ain't a damn thing funny. And I'm gonna see you tomorrow, same bat time.